Hi and welcome to Talk Camping, the podcast for our customers and campers alike who just love spending time under canvas. I'm James from Camping Travel Store and I'll be your host for the podcast. So welcome back to episode 3. We hope you've all had a nice Easter. We certainly did. The showroom was nice and busy, which is always a good thing for us. And if you managed to get away, we hope you had some good weather, as some of the forecasts we were looking at didn't really look that great for Easter camping. In this episode, we want to share with you the apps and the guides that we use for our own camping holidays. It's one of the questions we get asked quite a bit in the showroom as well is, where do you go? And where do you find the campsites that you go to? So really, our main go-to in the UK is the Camping and Caravanning Club, and we've been a member there now for 20 plus years. And the reason we've become a member of that is, or we did originally, was because they had their own network of sites, which is now 98 sites, which is their own sites, which is great because you know exactly what you're getting when you go there. There's certain rules which you have to abide by because of the club. It's a club rule, so to speak. And when you join, I think the joining fee is about £48 to join as a family. You get something called the Site Seeker book. Now that book is absolutely full of campsites. It lists all their own site campsites as well as what they call certified listed sites. Now these tend to be smaller sites that have been affiliated to the Camping and Caravanning Club, and they're usually sort of smaller farm sites that can accommodate up to 5 caravans or motorhomes and 10 tents depending on their own size. Also, within the guide, there's lots and lots of independent sites, and these could be anything from holiday parks with pools and entertainment all the way through to small commercial sites that are just sort of secret hidden hideaways that if you strike lucky and get one and it's just brilliant, you're never going to share it with anyone anyway. But that's a really worthwhile guide to have. And again, the sites are all over the UK. By joining with the membership, you also have discounts at various outlets as well, which is always worth investigating. But for the UK, that's a good starting point in our opinion. Obviously, being the Camping and Caravanning Club, everything is also electronic, so it can be found online with an app as well. So you haven't just got to rely on the paperback book. So when you've outlined a few sites that you think will be great for your adventure away, we like to then have a look at the reviews of them. Now, obviously, there's loads of different ways the site might have social media, which has always got reviews on and that kind of thing. Trustpilot, sometimes the sites have signed up for Trustpilot, which is another good way of verifying them. And also ukcampsites.co.uk, the website. It's a yellow sort of forum-y kind of website, but that has got thousands and thousands of different reviews from lots and lots of different campsites. So that's always a good one just to verify. And don't forget to look at the most detailed and the most recent ones, because obviously things change and it might be different to a couple of years ago, new management, that kind of thing. So it's always worth having a selection of different places where you can go to just check up on the reviews to make sure that everything is still as it should be. So, as some of you will know, and especially if you look at our social media, you'll see that we don't just camp in the UK, we camp all over Europe and especially France. So, one of the guides that we use, in actual fact, we use a couple of guides. We use the Alan Rogers guide. Now, that covers a lot in Europe, not just France. And that has some lovely sites in it as well. And you can also use the Castells site. Again, lots of different ways online that you can find sites. But one of the most popular ones we use is actually an app, and it's called Pitchup.com. So Pitchup.com has about 5,000 different sites across the UK, Europe, and also the Americas. And one of the best things we've found about it is that you can actually pay for your campsite via it as well. So we camp as a family, and we are a very lastminute.com camping family, as I describe it. And I'll give you an example of this. We know roughly which area we want to go to. We get to Calais, we kind of proceed to that area, and then we'll just literally fly by the seat of our pants until we find somewhere that we actually like. A good example is we were headed for the Black Forest in Germany, and we did a pit stop off at a site near the Alsace. Ironically, we actually bumped into one of our customers on site, which was lovely. And we got talking to another family there. and they were sort of raving on about they just had a fantastic holiday at Lake Annecy, which is just south of Geneva, still in France on the French side, but up in the Alps. And so it literally came down to the toss of a coin coming up to the junction where we either continue straight over for Germany or swung right and went down for another 4 or 5 hours down to Lake Annecy. And that's where the app comes in really, really handy. We did actually swing right and go down to Lake Annecy, but on the way, obviously, we needed to find a campsite. Now, with us, we always have the data on in the car, so we managed to find a lovely little site right beside the lake. Got there, and thankfully, we'd paid by Pitchup. Our credit card details were in the Pitchup app, because the guy in front of us, who was literally booking in ahead of us, unfortunately hadn't done that, and they only accepted cash at the site. Now, he had a 20-minute journey into Annecy itself to the cash machine to go and withdraw the right amount of cash to be able to pay for his stay. Now, that's where the apps can really, really benefit you, and us being as we are and how we camp benefits us brilliantly for that. So one of the other guides we have also used, not necessarily for camping, but this is if you need a stay somewhere. So let's say you're travelling down to the south of France or further afield, Spain or Italy, and you're looking for a nice B&B stopover, as opposed to the cheaper Formula One the sort of equivalents to the Premier Inn over here. Then the Alistair Sawday's French B&B guide is fantastic. We've had a few lovely stays there, and you just have to look at that online and you'll see some really, really nice B&Bs available. And it just means that if you are camping, you've got everything loaded in your car, then everything's going to be safe. And it's a great way to have 1 or 2 nights relaxing without having to put your tent up. So there are lots of apps available for camping, whether it be for campsites or just stayovers. There's Britstops is another good app if you're looking for a stop behind, say, a pub, if you are in a tent box, say a roof tent, that kind of thing. Park for the Night, another good app if you're doing that kind of thing, if you're just touring around and you're looking to stop behind a pub. Some of them allow you to stay free of charge if you're eating and using the pub. There's also petrol apps that will tell you where the cheapest petrol is in your local area. Bearing in mind, if you're a visitor, you're not going to know where to go for the petrol. And that's also abroad as well. So there's lots and lots of different apps. Get out and explore. Let us know which is your favourite app as well, because it's always nice to know what else is out there. But in the sense of the ones that we use, it's really the Camping and Caravanning Club and UK Campsites for site reviews in the UK, together with the Pitchup, the Alan Rogers and the Alistair Sawday guides for Europe and a bit further afield. Another way of finding some great campsites is via social media, in particular Facebook, where there are lots and lots of separate camping groups. And obviously people are putting reviews on there. You can always ask on the group if anyone has been to a particular campsite you're looking at. And that's a great source as well. And indeed, even on the Cast and Tent group, our own group, which anyone's welcome to join, we have some nice sites on there, and when people ask for sites, they get some lovely recommendations. The nice thing about our group is we have got international people on there as well, so anything through France and especially the Benelux countries with Belgium and Holland, we get some fantastic recommendations. So again, it's just, there's so many different sources out there, but these are the ones that we use the most. However, we will let you into one of our favourite campsites, and that's quite local to us. It's within an hour, and it's Town Farm Camping at Ivanhoe. Now, that site is a great site. It's up high. You have near enough 360 degrees view below you. It's the start at the Chilterns. The Ivanhoe Beacon is there as well. Fantastic guy called Charles runs it with his family, and it's got the best skies, the best sunsets. It's absolutely brilliant. So if you want a nice family site, check out Town Farm Camping. It's it's near to Woburn, the safari park, and there's loads to do in the local area. So that rounds up everything we wanted to tell you about the apps and the guides that we use. And obviously, please leave any comments below. Let us know what you think. Please give us a like, and obviously subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything in the future. And until next time, happy camping.